Okay,
Talk
let's
about Big
talk
L
about Big
first.
L's Lifestyles of the Poor and Dangerous. Now, this is an album that I always knew of, but I never really wanted to go listen to it because one, this wasn't ever really my style of hip hop like that. I
Hmm.
respect it, but you know, the more boom bap like style, the I'm gonna get over these beats and I'm gonna just rhyme just to rhyme, which I mean, I appreciate it now. I think it's good now. My first time listening to this was last year, 2024. When I listened to it, I was like, oh yeah, he's spitting. He's rapping. But back then,
Yeah.
especially you coming from the East Coast like that, you had to be on that type of time. You couldn't get on
Yep.
no weak stuff, B. So going into this project right here, Big O has a really great rapping performance. Lyrically, he's all the way there for me.
Hmm.
And there was some times where he would use certain samples and flips, kind of like Biggie did. And I don't
Hmm.
know. I think that the way that these two artists, both lyrical, both from the East Coast, the way that they use some of these samples and flips, I think it was very unique, especially the way that they both flowed over them. Now,
Hmm.
obviously, giving Big L his flowers, rest in peace to Big L, untimely demise.
Hmm.
Going through this right here, he had some potential, B. Now, I never heard his second album, but I've heard snippets and some tracks from it
The big
off of the
picture.
recommendations. Yeah. And I heard some of the freestyles. I'm like, yo, this guy was spitting back there. What are we doing? But yeah, going over this project right here, I think the thing about this project is to me, it's not like a album experience, but more so like to me, it's like that Illmatic feel of like I'm giving you this demo reel and showing you my skills and what I can do versus
Hmm.
I'm gonna give you this album experience, this conceptual piece of music. And honestly, I really enjoyed it. Big L coming on here just to rapping the rap. Jay Z, a very young Jay Z was on here.
Hmm.
Uh, Lord Finesse was on here. I'm looking at Killer Cam. Cameron was on here as
Amazing.
well.
They
Jerky
was in a
Three.
group called Children of the Corn.
Yeah, that I
Yeah.
remember hearing about that, but I never really looked too much into that. But overall,
Hmm.
for me, man, I thought this is a really solid project, and it's one of those like demo reel projects that I consider in hip hop, where it's like, okay, this shows like amazing talent from this young MC right here, especially coming out of the East Coast back then. But my first time experiencing this album, I was like, oh yeah, he's spitting. And going through this album again, I'm just like, oh yeah, he's going through it. What he say? I was so poor, I couldn't afford the OR or
Oh,
whatever. I'm just like,
I'm so
oh
poor I couldn't afford the
god.
OR.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was just like, oh my
I
god,
was
the way he
poor.
was rapping on here, and him talking about he'll put rappers in the, he'll yeah, a rapper, what I'm
Yeah.
saying, he'll kill a rapper, what I'm saying,
Yeah.
lyrically and the things that he would do on the mic to him. I was just like, all right, I like this
Yeah.
bravado that he had, and he was able to
Yeah.
back it up. It kind of gave me, and I'm not comparing these two. It reminds me of MF Doom talking about how he'll rap a rapper around in
Hmm.
circles. This basically gives me that same energy and bravado from a rapper like a Big L right here. So yeah, B, what do you think about this? Because I know you're more
Man.
the aficionado in
Yeah.
this album.
Oh man, I really love this album, man. I remember my first time getting hip to Big L was watching him and listening to him and Jay Z on Stretch and Barbito. Like I saw a clip on YouTube back in the day in high school, and I was like, he said, I'm so ahead of my time. My parents haven't met yet." And I'm like, "Oh, look, this dude right here." And but Jay Z was on this. Jay Z was going off too. I'm like, this is dope. Like, who is this Big L guy? Like, it's sometimes like when you get into hip hop, you lose some of the guys throughout all the golden era because it's so much music. It's so much that came out. There's just so many artists that got overlooked. And I feel like Big L was one of them guys for me because they wasn't talking about him much, like from what I was looking at. So, anyways, this album right here, bro, with like I think putting it on was like his single. Love that track. MVP. If rap was aim, I'd be MVP, the most valuable poet on in the NYC. And like no ends, no skins. Where I think that's the line he was like, if Big L got the A's, every cutie in the city
Oh,
got it. Like, come
yeah,
on, bro.
yeah, yeah. I
He'll
was
say
like, yo,
anything.
this is wild
Cause
right here.
yeah, because Big L was like very horrorcore. He talked about killing his mom, like killing my
Mhm,
mom, put it in the basement like Norman Bates did. You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
He had some wild lyrics, bro. Like sometimes wild Big L lyrics pop up in my head. And yes, I'm about to say them. It's one of them when he said Big L got AIDS. I was start. I was like,
Yeah, I was
yo,
like, whoa.
I was start graping. I'm like, yo, you was wild.
I was like, this is not the type of thing that you can say in today's day and age.
Facts. But he was like, I was poor. When I growing up, I was poor. I couldn't afford the OR. Like he has just some dough, like cutting, like just sharp cutting lines, bro. Straight to the point with
Mhm.
his stuff. And he had that potential, like with putting it on that was dope with a cooler sample, that all black. And I'm gonna have your family dressed in all black. Like I'm telling you, I listened to this album so much I didn't have to listen to it again.
Mhm.
But I know they was trying to sign him to Rockefeller at one point.
Mm.
I'm like, yeah, I think they were trying to sign him, but like Big L, bro, like is a presence that's missed. I wish we could have saw like, like I talked about Biggie and Pac, like one of the artists you can watch grow. And from his like the big picture was more of like it wasn't a full complete project. It has freestyles
Yeah.
on it, songs that really wasn't released. So we never really got that really like this is the closest we'll get to just a full debut project from him. And I think that if we got to see him grow, Big Picture probably would have been that project for him
Hmm.
because I think he died in 99. So 4 years later. So we probably would have got a more, a little more mature Big L, more probably, top of his game lyrically. Like, come on, man. He was different. And a lot of guys, like a lot of artists, got inspiration from him, especially with the horrorcore thing. And that's what Mace and Killer, what they used to do the same thing he did because he was like technically the big homie in Harlem making the music, man. And like this dude was a very talented MC, bro. Like if any of you guys never listened to Big L, just go check out some of his freestyles, especially when he did on Stretch and Barbito with Jay-Z. Both of them two going crazy. He had some. I'm trying to think if I could think of anything else he said. I can't think of none of
He
them,
got he got
but
some lines
he
on
got
here.
some
I can't think
stuff
of
on
them
there,
all.
bro. And
Yeah.
it's just like some of the stuff he says, like, oh, what? Like it sticks to you, bro. Like
Hmm.
those lines, the bars that I referenced here, them lines would never leave my head because I remember hearing them at 14, 15 years old and being like, huh? You know what I'm saying? It's like the same thing with like that effect, that what they call it, the shock value, like with Tyler created when
Hmm.
they came out, some of those bars, the lines that they had that like will never leave you. I think,
Hmm.
in this day of age, like you can't kind of use lines like that, but MC always want to have a line that will stick out. Like, yeah, you can
Hmm.
have this dope bar, like 8 bars or whatever, but in between that, you gotta have that stick out, that stand out. You gotta have that bar. Like that's a
Yeah.
bar. Or
But
like
see,
just
I think
something
the
that it could be cringy too. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
say it again.
I was just gonna say the thing about Big L for me, it was the creativity and the wittiness about the bars.
Yeah, yeah.
Because like you said, the whole thing, like, oh, if I got A's, the whole city, like
Yeah,
all the girls are gonna
yeah,
go.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh,
yeah.
that's the way you gonna tell me you a player?
Yeah.
I'm like, this is
He said,
crazy right now.
I got dimes that make your chicks look like whoopee. It's like, yo, I'm never hitting 30 chicks, never found something.
Yeah, see, I don't
Bro,
remember
it's
the
so
lines
many
like
lines
that.
popping up in my head, bro. He say some stuff, bro.
Yeah. But that's one of them things like, back then I loved that bravado that you gave me because
Yeah.
Big L didn't really give me anything like super introspective. He didn't give me
Hmm.
anything
No,
to
no, no,
feel.
no.
But when it comes to him emceeing and him talking about how he's the best one and what he'll do to you on that mic,
Hmm.
I'm like, all right, I'm with that energy. I can enjoy that. I respect this right here.
And him
Like I
being Big
said,
L, he's like this like scrawny dog. Like he's not saying he's shorter than, probably like
mhm,
an average height guy, like scrawny, but he's Big L. Like, you know what I'm saying? He comes
yeah,
with that, like you said, that bravado. Like, yeah, it's
mhm,
like try me. I'm on this mic, I'm different. You know what I'm saying? I love that.
yeah. I really enjoyed his rapping performance. Obviously, was going here. Bars was all the way there for me. I really wish I could have seen him grow as an MC, but to
Hmm.
honor this project 30 years later, it's still a project that it's obviously a testament of the time for back then, but I would have really loved to see what he would have done on a full project, like him having those producers, fully
Yep.
producing it, the cohesion, the themes, the concepts, the stuff that he would have went over. Besides like giving me the braggadocious raps, I would have loved to see what else he could have given me as an MC as well. I
Yeah.
don't know, maybe have some producer collab albums, like something like with a Mad Lib, Alchemist, Jay Dilla, all these
Mhm.
type of things that could happen. Large Professor. I don't know. I'm
Yeah.
just spitballing right now.
I
But
just
yeah.
I just went I just typed up like some of his punchlines like on on Danger Zone. He was like, I jumped out the link and left him stinking. Put his braids in the streets. Now you could see what he was just thinking. Like I remember that
Yeah.
bar. Like I'm like, so now I'm like, it's coming to me. Like when I see it, I'm like,
Hmm.
I knocked out so many teeth. The tooth fairy went bankrupt. Like he just say
Hmm.
some stuff, bro. Miguel's so dope, bro.
I agree.
Filling niggas with so much
And
lead. Oh yeah, filling niggas with so much lead they can use their
use
dick
your meat
for
as
a
a
pencil.
pencil, something
Yeah.
like that. I was like, whoa.
Yes,
I'm
bro.
like,
Yeah.
yo. I'm like, why are we talking about the meats
He
right
said,
now?
I get no, he said I get more on accident than they get on the niggas get on purpose, bro. Like he just say, bro, he say some
Oh,
wild stuff, bro. Like Big L was. Oh
Nah,
man, I love Big
he
L.
was that guy on the mic. Like that's why I
Yes,
love
bro.
about rappers who rap like this with that's so braggadocious, but they could back it up. I said that a lot about MF Doom.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
rapping braggadocious, but you can kind of back it up lyrically though. So I'm like,
Facts,
hey,
facts.
I believe you.
Facts. That's like with Big L. Man, I remember like just finding Big L. Like me first, I thought I just found like a gold mine. I'm like, oh my god, this is so dope. Why nobody talk about this much? But us being from the South, like, it didn't reach us like that. Like, look, like my cousins and my older cousins would listen to no Big L. I was putting them on the stuff. You know what I'm saying? They was putting me on the like more of the Southern stuff. They listen to Outkast, we listen to Boosie, we listen to Lil Wayne, Juvie, like some not most East Coast stuff, but most like West Coast and stuff like that. Because the West Coast got me into hip hop. Like that's how I fell in love with hip hop from West Coast music. Like I know that's kind of backwards. Usually it could be like where you
Your
from,
region.
but
Yeah.
nah,
My
West
region
Coast music,
was the flipping
yeah. I'm saying West Coast got me into hip hop, like made me like wanna like just like love it. But
hmm
yeah,
Yeah.
but that's all I
Yeah.
got, man. This album is I love this album. It's not because it's a whole project of just like you said, like conceptually or just a dope body of work. It's just dope rapping. Like I
Yeah.
hate that because he was young, so he really couldn't get you that. But I feel it's still a dope album because it's dope rapping on it. You know what I'm saying? Like the beat's
Yeah.
not crazy, but the bars, like the beats, it matched him so well, like what he was
Mhm.
saying, and like he, even though he outshined the production because those punchlines, that presence, the bravado, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Just dope, just dope.
Yeah, I actually thoroughly enjoy this project. This is
Hmm.
like, I agree with you on like his lyrics is what really
Hmm.
stands out. But
Yeah.
his charisma and his not character per se, because it's not like he's like a character, but he has
Hmm.
a whole lot of persona on these tracks. So I'm just like, all right, like you're that
Yeah.
dude. I really wish to see what you would have done on a full length project,
Hmm.
kind of like a Biggie, kind of like a Nas, on that in
Hmm.
that range, or like a Jay-Z. It's just crazy that Jay-Z kind of like collaborated with all these dudes like really early on. Like he was just that boy was tapped in.
Yeah. Yeah. They was all around. Because I think I want to say because Dame has the Harlem connection. I think Dame put Jay into like Big L them together. Because if you think about it, hip hop, at the time, it's the '90s. It's growing, but early '90s is still new. You know what I mean? You still got you got Nas, you still got this new resurgence of like new MCs and stuff like that. So them probably trying to get connected with each other was like I would say easier in a way. You know what I mean? Because you got to think about it. You got a lot of rappers, but it ain't a lot like that. Not how it is now and how it got in the 2000s because
Yeah.
hip hop became super like global, super global. So them being tapped in, Jay Z having his stuff in the underground at the time, and Big L doing his thing. But dog, this album, man, I really wish we got more Big L. Like I hate that we lost so many great artists, man, to like nonsense, man. And it's so crazy, man. I hate to bring this up, but like that album cover, he died on that same street, bro. I think a guy that killed him, if I could be wrong, is in that album cover. But he died on that street. That's so crazy. He
That
talked
is
about Lennox.
insane.
That's crazy. Yeah. So RP to Big L, man. I think he was 27 when he passed.
He
Let
he
me
he
let me get
passed
that
in
number.
1999. Let me see. He passed at age 24.
He was what? He wasn't even 27?
Nah, 24.
He was 20
Insane.
B. B. He put this
Insane.
out when he was 20 what? 20 20?
19,
He
maybe.
was 19. Like that's
19 or 20.
insane. That's insane, bro. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying. Because this came out in 95. It was recorded in 91 and 93, B. Like it was like you said, it was like demos of certain things he had out. Like that's
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah,
He
lots of
was
potential.
18. They were young, they were kids, bro. Just thinking that, putting that in perspective like that, man, made me sad, bro. RP Big L, man.
We lost a lot of legends at a very young age.
Very
For
young
real.
age, bro. Think
Very
about
young
it.
age.
Pac was
That
24. Pac was 24 too,
24,
right?
26, right? 24, 26.
I think 26, somewhere in there. They was young. Biggie was what,
Yeah,
24, 25? They
maybe.
were young,
It's like
man.
we're older than them now. Crazy.
Facts. Like we out, yeah. That's crazy, man.
But
So
yeah,
crazy.
RIP to Big L. Hey, dope project, dope raps. Very,
Man.
very good performance and very good
Hmm.
skill, especially for back
Facts.
then. Would have loved to see what he would have became later on.
Right.
Shout out to the 30-year anniversary.
Man, shout out to Beyond Beats and Culture.